Hi friends, Aitherea here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some shortcuts that I use every single time I play Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I'm not sure if shortcuts is the exact right word to use because some of them are actually macros, but I see them as shortcuts because they make my life easier. But anyways, I also want to give a warm welcome to any Xbox players who might be watching this video. I did try to find also the controls for controller for anything that applies to controller as well. Some of these are not going to have any Xbox or PlayStation controller equivalent, but a lot of these are really helpful shortcuts that are going to make your life easier and are just going to make gameplay better. So I hope that you'll stick around because this video should hopefully be helpful to everyone, regardless of whether you are playing on a computer, a console like PlayStation, or Xbox. So anyways, let's just get into it. So first of all, the first shortcut is hiding your UI, which I am doing right now. If you are on PC, the default for this is scroll lock. If you are on Xbox, it's going to be LB plus view button. And if you're on PlayStation, that's L1 plus touchpad, apparently. So, as you can see, look at that. I've got a UI. And if I press it again, oh, it's gone. Goodbye. So this is very helpful if you want to maybe like take a screenshot or just want to like clear out some of the clutter. Obviously there is G-pose for screenshots, but there are some scenarios in which maybe you just want to take like a quick screenshot, quick screen grab. You're not trying to do anything fancy. Another thing that I personally really like this for is actually Leap of Faith, because it gets so cluttered with people and their names and their titles and stuff. And I actually do have a shortcut for that later, but I just genuinely like this for Leap of Faith. I find it really easy to use. So this is a helpful one, and I do use it all the time. Okay, and next we have number pad 0, which is confirm, and I don't think there's any equivalent on controller. So if I press 0 first, it's going to target the nearest NPC. Then if I press it again, it'll open the menu. So what this is really useful for is if there's like a crowd of people all standing around something. You'll see this a lot in like Limsa. People will be around the summoning bell, or when Dawn Trail drops, I bet you there's going to be a lot of people around whichever NPC that we have to talk to. There's going to be like crowds of people, and it can be hard to like find the NPC and talk to them. So if you just press number pad 0, then you're able to actually get the NPC targeted and open that menu. Okay, and then next we have to open our map. And if we press control, oh my gosh, look! You can now see the Aetherite nice and easy and click on it. Because right here I'm like, I can't click on it. I have to like scroll in. You don't have to do that. You can just press control, hold it down, and there you go. You can click on the Aetherytes. So this one is really useful just for navigating. Like maybe you're like, oh, I'm gonna click on this quest or something. Okay, that's not. Let's try this one. None of these quests are actually but you get the point, okay? I like how none of the quests are working with me here. None of them. Okay, anyways, let's move on. The next one is auto run, which on keyboard is just R, and on controller is while moving the left stick, press LB or L1 if you're on PlayStation. So the auto run is just really useful because why press buttons? Like why hold down a button when you can just auto run? I like it for hunt trains. So while I'm flying to the next mark, I can talk shit, and I can talk shit and shout chat. So that's what I use it for. Okay, let's move on from auto run for a moment here. The next one, which is actually number 5 if you've been keeping count. Did you guess that correctly? I will give you a love heart if you did. The next one is descending, dismounting, and it also works for taking your weapon out. So we're all the way up here, and we're just like, oh my god, actually let's get even higher. Oh my god, I'm all the way up here. It says my mom can't fly higher, but he's flying higher. Look at that. We're breaking through the barrier. Oh, imagine trying to get down from here. Oh, I don't, it's so much work. I'm just going to press Z. Look at that. Look at how fast we just... There. Perfect. And you know what? I want to get off. I'm going to press Z again. Beautiful. And you know what? My weapon is so gorgeous and it glows. Press Z again. Oh my god. Great. And she's posing. Are you wondering how she's posing? Well, if I press C pose here in the chat, well, now she's posing like this. And if I do it again, oh my god, beautiful, cute pose. And this is the white mage pose. All the different jobs have different poses, but there you go. That is Z, and I've been talking about the keyboard one so long. I'm sorry, I should have told you that this does have controller as well. It is LB plus RB for Xbox and L1 plus R1 for PlayStation. So I'm sorry, I should have said that first. I should have said that when I said Z. But I'm just a little keyboard player, okay? All right. Next, we're going to stop whining. And we are moving on to focus target. So if I click on this seasoned adventure and I press Shift F on keyboard, I can focus this target. As for controller, I don't know that there's like an actual shortcut, but what you can do is you can target them, open up the drop down menu, and then just toggle down to focus target and have that. Click on that and you focus them. This is super duper useful, especially as a healer. I can't talk for other people because like I just play healer, but I use this like whatever I play. I'm so used to using this. I don't look up here, I look here for my boss stuff. And so especially as a healer, I'm gonna be targeting a lot of other people. Like I need to go and like I need to heal Drake over here. Like, oh my gosh, Drake, oh, I'm about to throw a dot at him. I'm not trying to do that, but like Drake needs help. Drake needs to be healed, right? But like I still need to be able to see what the boss is doing because oh my gosh, the boss is casting this like raid wide. I have to be ready to heal that, or like oh my gosh, the boss is about to cast some like I don't know, attack where I need to like look away or something. I just need to be able to see what the boss is doing. So especially as a healer, this allows me to focus the boss and always see what they're doing. But this bar up here, which is usually the boss bar, I'm gonna be swapping around. Sometimes I'm focused on Drake, sometimes I'm focused over here on Aeth. Like you never know, man. Like I gotta heal my teammates. So that is super useful. Also, you can also make a macro for this if you are on like console. So if you go to macros, and I think I actually, oh, that's assist. Okay, I don't have it here, but all it is you just go focus, target, that's tart, focus target, and T. And then you have your macro. So then whatever you're targeted on, if you use that macro, it will then focus the target. So that is that. And if you just notice, you can actually also click on this on keyboard. If you're not targeted, it'll put you so that you're actually doing that. So basically, right now, if I'm not clicked on it, whoever I attack is like, it's not going to be this. It's going to be whatever bar is up here. So like, let's say that White Witchrit, let's say White Witchrit is a mob I can kill. I'm attacking White Witchrit, not the adventure. I can just see what the adventure is doing. If I click, then I'm back on it. Okay. The next one is to hide player names temporarily. And I remove the focus target. You can do that either by just pressing this again or just Shift F again. Okay, so next is hiding player names temporarily, and this is going to be X. That's the default key, and I'll show you what that looks like. And you see it just like hides the names. I have to hold it down, and when I put it back, let go of it, they come back up. Again, there's nothing like for this on controller, but you can make a macro for this. So we actually have the macro set, which is just like this. And then this, and my name came back too because of the way the macro works, which I will now show you. So, names off, because you need two macros. You need one that just basically turns all the names off, and it's nameplate disp all 4. And then to turn them back on, nameplate disp all 1. And the reason it turned my name back on is because I had my name off, and this all, I'm part of all, so it turned it back on. And this is also going to be useful for Leap of Faith. But another thing it can be useful for is the same thing that number pad 0 is useful for. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't seem to get to this NPC because there's so many people surrounding it. Well, with their names off, it's harder to... I mean, you can still click on them, obviously, but it's easier to click on the NPC. And it might even work a little better with X, because now if I do X, I actually can't click on this person at all. So those are the two options. The macro is just nice for maybe clearing up clutter and being able to turn it off and on without having to hold it down. But if you do hold it down, like I said, then you can't even like click on the other person, which is nice, but you can still click on the NPCs. So that's what that is. It's super, super useful for. Okay, the next one, let's see, is assist target or targeting your target's target. So you see Talon, if I press, or you see Nox is looking at Talon, if I press T, now I am targeting Talon because that's who Nox was targeting. And Nox is no longer targeting. Nox, help, come on. Okay, here, this person now is targeting independent merchant. So now what this is super useful for is, especially as a healer, if I am healing the tank, their target is probably the boss, so I can just press T and get back to the boss. If I am healing a DPS, same thing. The other really cool thing, let's say that I'm sitting there and I'm hitting the boss, and the boss is about to do a tank buster. Well, guess who the boss's target is? And guess who the boss is tank busting? The main tank. So I press T to target the target's target, so to target the boss's target, and it takes me to the tank. Maybe I give the tank a little divine benison, and I press T again because the tank is targeting the boss, and away I go right back to the boss. So this is really, really useful. This on controller, it kind of exists. So first, if you go to System Configuration, Gamepad Settings here on the left, Button Configuration, you actually can set it up, Assist Target. You can put it on one of your hotkeys here. I think it's only these two that you're allowed to choose from. That's one option. Another option would be to make a macro of it. And if you just go here and go assist and then T, then that should work. So let's see. Oh, they're not targeting anything. Nobody's targeting anything. This is not good. Bro, I need you to target something. Sorry. Like, is there anyone else here? Help me. Okay, cool. There we go. So I could just execute it. So that's another thing. And I don't know how helpful this is for controller, just because I don't really know how the navigation with targeting on controller works since I'm a keyboard player, but there it is. It exists if you want to use it, and my dog is shaking in the background. Very lovely. Okay, next we have the macro that I use for changing jobs. So what I do is actually use a macro to switch to a different HUD. My dog just shook in the background again. I love him. I love him so much, but sometimes it's hard to get a quiet background for videos, let me tell you, between my dog and my brothers. Anyway. So, and then I have a macro that takes me back. So let me show you how this works. So if we go to my macros, it's down here. So this one, excuse you, HUD layout 4. I'm sorry, HUD layout 4. So I press this. Takes me, I'm now on HUD layout 4. You wouldn't know, it's hardly different, but I basically set up just 2 hotbars here. And then what I did was I went here into my gear set list in the character menu, and you just drag and drop. That's it. That's all I did. And then I needed to get back to my normal menu, the menu that I use my normal HUD. The HUD, it is HUD, right? I'm gonna call it HUD. Screw you guys, I'm going home. And this is just HUD layout 1. And there we are. I'm back. And this is just so much easier for changing jobs, so that's why I do it, because it's so much easier than having to like open this menu and like dig through them, and I can just like look at them all. I can see them nice and big in my face. Alright, next is the weapon glow macro. Because listen, this weapon glows and it's on my back and it's like, oh god, why? I just want to see the glow. I want to see the glow all the time. You can with this macro. So I click the macro and then I move forward. Let me show you the macro. We gotta open the macros again. I don't know what BM stands for. Could be bowel movement, could be anything. Sit. It doesn't really matter. And then you just move forward with W. Some people also put the movement into the macro, but I don't know how. So this is the macro that you're getting. This is the macro I have, and this is the macro you're getting. And if you wanted to stop glowing, just use Z like we talked about earlier. Or whatever Z was on. I already forgot what it was on controller. So you're going to have to... Don't worry, I'll have chapters, but you're going to have to rewind. So if you don't want it to stop glowing, you can do that. But where's there a bench? Because I'm pretty sure this works with benches too. Here. Find me a bench. See? Beautiful. And I can get up if I want to, or I can just keep sitting here. But now you can see my beautiful glowing relic weapon that I didn't work hard for at all because this is the Endwalker one. Slight shade, let's move on. Next I want to talk about tilting the camera up and down, which looks like this. And you might be thinking, oh, we can already do this on controller. No, you can't. I tried it. I have a controller that I use sometimes for other games, but I love keyboard, and when I'm able to use keyboard when keyboard functions well, I use it. But for some games, controller is better. I don't think 14 is one of them. 14 actually has really good controller setup. I'm not trying to diss like controller. Like the controller setup here is really good, but I just prefer keyboard for MMOs usually. So this tilting, you hold control and then it's up arrow or down arrow. And okay, you're on controller. Oh, that sucks. I have a chat shortcut for you. Tilt, it's literally tilt camera. And you can do anywhere from 0 to 100. So here's 100. And if I press, okay, so I press enter to get back in my chat here. Press the up arrow if you're on keyboard, and you get to have the same thing that you had in there before. Now we can go to 1, it's like down here. 50. So you can do it that way too. Obviously, if you're on keyboard, it's easier to just use the control, but if you're not, and you have a keyboard that you use to chat, so you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you use your keyboard just to chat with people, you can still use these chat shortcuts. So you can tilt your camera that way if you're not on keyboard. So I think I left it on 50. It's probably a good place to leave it. Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Okay, next is background music. So sometimes I just get super tired of the background music, and we have another chat shortcut, which is just BGM. Hear that? And then along with this, you can actually change the volume 0 to 100. So let's put it on 25. So still there, but quieter. Let's put it on 100. There you go. I mostly use this just to mute and unmute. That's really all I use it for. I don't usually use it to change the actual like volume setting, but it is more convenient than actually going into your system configuration and whatnot. So I really like that. Okay, and next is another chat shortcut, which is R to reply. You can also press Alt-R, but if you type \R, you can just type, and whoever the last person you spoke to is, so whoever is the last person that sent you a message will get sent your message if you do \R. And then Alt-R is basically the same thing, but you'll notice that it shows the name now this time, where \R didn't. So it does the same thing though, because if I just say hi, you notice it goes back to free company. So there's not like a huge difference here, just that you'll know for sure who you're messaging if you press Alt-R versus \R. I'm used to typing the /R command, but either one works. Okay, and then finally, one last thing. This is actually number 14. I kind of gave up on telling you guys the numbers because I'm trying a little different thing here. I'm kind of voiceovering as I go. Ew, he's winking at me. Disgusting. Anyways, finally, iSearch. So this is a really cool thing you can do. I'm going to just type in type because I want to get my Yorha stuff. And right now I need to go back here. And look at all this stuff. This is all my stuff that's named type. And now I can interact with it. So I can find one and I can be like, oh, I want to link this to my free company. And then If I press enter, it'll link it. Cool. I want to search for like where this is. Where is this? Is it in my glamour dresser? Is it in my armoire? No, it's not, because it's not a limited item. Whatever. Just like, where is this? Okay, cool. It's in my glamour dresser. You can do this with like any item. So if I search soot for like soot black dye. Okay, cool. Where's my soot black dye? Is it in my chocobo saddlebag? Oops, I didn't mean to link it. Search for item. It's in my inventory, and I have 20 of them. Okay, good to know. So the other thing too is you can try stuff on from here, copy the name, search for recipes. So this is just a really lovely command that is super useful, because let's say that you are just like out and about, hanging with your friends, and you're talking about some of your favorite fashion or something, or an item that you need to make a relic weapon, and you want to link it to them, but you don't have it in your inventory. You can use iSearch, and you can link it to them. And that way they can, I don't know, do whatever they want. They know what the item is now. If it's a fashion piece, they can try it on. So yeah, iSearch is dope. And I think that's pretty much everything. That's everything I've got on my list for you today. Actually, I've got a bonus here. I'm gonna press pause on keyboard, and now I'm looking at the camera. Isn't that so exciting? I don't know if there's probably not a controller thing for that, but that was a bonus, so I did not look that up prior to this video. That was not in my outline. Anyways, I think it's time to end this video, so thank you all for watching, and if you found this helpful, then please consider leaving a sacrifice to Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, share, or subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching. Bye! I don't have the goodbye, I only have the lolly ho on here, unfortunately, but I do have this. Okay, bye!